Hi everyone, and welcome back to the GCSE Math series. Today we're going to be looking at exam style questions for changing the subject of the formula. So let's get straight into it. In this first question, we're looking at m equals to 5n plus 2p, and we need to make p the subject of the formula. So if you haven't watched my revision video on this, I strongly advise you to, because these questions you'll be able to answer them yourselves, and that's the best way to approach maths, by attempting first and then checking your answers after. But if not, just continue on here. So we have to first look at our p, the variable that we need to make our subject of the formula. In this case, it's being times by 2 and then added to 5n. If you remember, we always start with our addition. So in this case, to reverse the addition, we have to minus 5n from both sides, when we get m minus 5n is equal to 2p. Now we see our p is being times by 2. To reverse this, we divide through by 2 on both sides of our equation. So m minus 5n over 2 gives us p. And there you go, that's our p alone on one side of the equation. So moving on to the next question, we have a is equal to 3c minus 2. And we have to make c the subject of the formula. So we see our c is being times by 3 and then minus 2 from that. We first deal with our addition / subtraction, and in this case it's minus 2, so we need to add 2 to both sides to reverse it. So a plus 2 is equal to 3c. Now we see that our c is being times by 3 in this case. To reverse this and get c by itself, we need to divide through by c on both sides. So a plus 2 divided by 3 is equal to our c. Okay, looking at our next question, we have p is equal to 3a plus 3b, and we need to make a the subject of this formula. Looking at our a is being first times by 3, then adding to 3b. We first deal with our addition, so minus 3b. To reverse it from both sides, we get p minus 3b is equal to 3a. Then, to get a alone, we need to divide through by 3, gives us a alone. Okay, moving on. We need to make n the subject of the formula, so we have m is equal to n squared plus 3. We look at our n, it's being squared, then added to 3. So dealing with our addition first, we do m minus 3 is equal to n squared. Then we observe that our n is being applied by the squared function. So to reverse this, we apply the opposite of our squared function, which is square root in this case. So we do square root m minus 3 is equal to n. Moving on, we have v equals u plus at, and we're going to make a the subject. This is a very important SUVAT equation, as it's known as, which we'll definitely cover in a later video. So making a the subject of this formula, we first minus u from both sides to get v minus u equals at. Then to get a alone, we need to divide through by t, leaving v minus u over t is equal to a. Then make a the subject of the formula, v squared equals u squared plus 2as. We see that a is being times by 2s and added to u squared. Dealing with the addition first, we do v squared minus u squared equal to 2as. Then, to get a alone, we need to divide through by our 2s. So we get v squared minus u squared over 2s is equal to our a. There you can see a is alone on one side of its equation, therefore it is the subject. Okay, this one's going to test our knowledge on expanding single brackets. If you are shaky on this topic, I advise you to look back at our previous video in the series to solidify yourself before coming back to this. So x is equal to 3 times by a gives 3a, 3 times by 9 gives us plus 27. Then, to make a the subject of the formula, we look at what's happening to a. It's first being times by 3, then added to 27. We need to deal with the 27 first because it's being added to 3a. So x minus 27 is equal to 3a by minusing 27 from both sides. Then our a is being times by 3. To reverse this, we need to divide both sides of our equation by 3. So we get x minus 27 over 3 is equal to a. Looking at this one, we have a equals to 3 plus c over b. Remember, we always like to get rid of our fractions, especially when we need to make a variable the subject of the formula when that variable is involved in the fraction. So timesing through by both sides by b, we're going to get ab is equal to 3 plus c. Then we need to make b alone, and we see that b is being times 2 by a. So to reverse this and get b by itself, we divide through by a on both sides. So ab over a is equal to 3 plus c over a. A and a is going to cancel out and just give 1, leaving b is equal to 3 plus c over a. Okay, moving on to the last question of today. We have d is equal to the square root of 3h over 2. Now to make h the subject of this formula, we see that the expression involving h is being applied to by a square root function. We then apply the opposite of the square root function and square both sides to eradicate our square root. So this is going to leave us with d squared equals to 3h over 2 because I've squared both sides. Then we see that 3h, or h, is being divided by 2. So to reverse this, we times both sides by 2 and get 2d squared is equal to 3h. Then we can see that our h is being times 2 by 3. To reverse this and get h by itself, we divide through, do the opposite of timesing, and get divide 3 on this side as well, and we get 2d squared over 3 is equal to our h, and that is the formula when h is the subject. Okay, that's going to conclude today's exam style questions. I hope we consolidated your knowledge and mastered this topic. As always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys